Hi, welcome to the Cookalong Club. I'm Harrod and we're going to show you how to make Dhal. Now I'm kind of new to the Dhal scene, I have to be honest, but I'm kind of embracing it. You can make really delicious, cheap, healthy even. I mean, I'm not into healthy nutrition, but this is super good for you, and it's vegan and it's vegetarian, ticks all those boxes as well, but it's full of fresh ingredients. But more importantly, it tastes really good, and you can pimp it as well, so you can add extra chilies if you want it really hot. You can add loads of coriander if you want that, and we're going to serve it with some naan bread. So you can get a little naan bread. You can serve it with rice, because lentils are full of protein, so it's like having your chicken or your mince in a little bag for really cheap. So we are going to get cooking. We're going to put ginger, garlic, onion into the pan and get that cooking down. We're going to add a sweet potato, we're going to add a parsnip, and we're going to add a carrot. You don't have to add the veg if you don't want to, but I kind of like it. I feel like it's a bit heartier, it's a bit fuller. We're then going to add our lentils, we're going to add coconut milk and another can of water, salt and pepper, and see how we go, and then we can taste it again at the end. This takes in the slow cooker around about an hour and a half, 2 hours to cook, so it's not a long cook at all, and really delicious. So this is really hearty food for when you come home, when it's a cold day and you're wet. This is great and really good for the freezer as well. So let's get going, let's get cooking. Right, first thing we're going to cut up is the onion. And as always, onions are here to try and get us to lose our digits, and we don't want to lose any digits. So look, it just rolls. It's like, how do you get control of it? They're cheeky and then they make you cry. So I'm going to not use the arch method. I'll use that later when I'm cutting it. But for the moment, I just want to cut off that root. So make sure you get a reliable, responsible adult to help you. That'll be really good. And I've not taken much off, because what don't we want to do? We just don't want to feed the food bin. The food bin has got plenty. And I'm just going to take that bit off as well. So actually, this is a new knife. This is a tomato knife. And it's a little bit of a revelation, because actually it's super good at cutting everything, and it's quite safe because it's not so pointy. We might have ordered another one because we really like it. Different colours, different family members, own knives. Right, so I'm just going to peel off the outer skin. You don't want, that's not edible, it's just too dry, but you don't want to go any further than that, because look, the rest of it is lovely and green and white, and that's what we want to eat. We don't want to peel a load off and waste it. We just don't want to feed that food bin. So this is a nice onion, it's very fresh, and it's making me a little bit emotional. But sometimes it's just good to have a little cry, a little bit of emotion, a little bit of, you know, time to yourself, a little bit of a reflection. Nobody needs to know. Just don't rub your eyes now, because that'll be really bad. You're going to get onion in your eyes and that's going to sting. Okay, so I've got this on hot and I'm going to put the onion in. You don't have to. You could use a separate pan for this, but why wash two? Just going to put the lid back on while I'm cooking, just to keep the heat in. So slow cookers are brilliant, because all you're doing is heating the bowl, you're not heating anything else. So compared to an oven, this is really super good and super cheap to run. Plus you can leave it on when you're not around, not too long I would say, but you can get a timer one where you could do that, so you can have it ready for the time you get home from school or work. So next thing I'm going to do is pop in some garlic. I'm a bit heavy on the garlic, I have to be honest. I think it's good for you, I think it keeps the vampires away, and everybody needs that. I do like garlic. It just gives a little bit of heat, a little bit of flavour. So there you go. So I've got my knife, and I'm going to have my palm on the knife, but I'm keeping the blade away from my hand. So that's really important. You can use a garlic press if you want to, but by the time you've peeled it and you've washed it, you might as well just do this and chop it. So that's really good. It's really satisfying. I quite like it. And there's the other one. so then it peels really easily, and you can just chop it. It's already broken it down a bit. You don't want big chunks of garlic because it's intense in flavour, so you want just it chopped finely so it cooks and that flavour is spread out throughout your cooking. You don't have to use garlic. Some people are allergic to garlic, some people are allergic to onion, so use what you like. You could use, I don't know, leeks instead. You could just use a sweet potatoes, you could use spices, entirely up to you. But we're just going to get these cooking. We'll get the ginger in as well. We'll chop up the carrots and the parsnip and the sweet potato, and then put the spices in, just to cook those out a little bit before we go. So there we go, there's the garlic, so I'm going to chuck that in. And we want these to cook till they go see-through. You don't have to brown them, they just need to go see-through, because then you're going to get that really good flavour, which is important. Ginger, so we're going to chuck in some ginger. You can grate it if you want to, but what you don't need to do is peel it. Don't waste time. Which is fine, so you get the skin left on and you get your ginger there. Or you can chop it. It depends how you like the flavour. If you want chunks, I quite like chunks because you just get that little hit, that little nugget of ginger coming through. Ginger's got quite a nice spicy flavour. The juice is really, really good for you, but very, very intense. So I'm just going to roughly chop this because, you know. So there's lots of different types of lentil and they all have different meanings when they make dal. I don't know what they are, but I'm learning. As I'm going, I'm just getting much more inspired. So these are red split lentils. So you can see they're kind of in half. And you can use split peas, you can get green lentils, you can get black lentils, you can get whole lentils. There's a whole load of different ones, and each has a slightly different texture and a different taste. So try them, don't be afraid of them. But look, this is a 500 gram bag, and we're probably going to use half of that and produce enough for at least 4 to 6 people. Like I say, we'll serve it with rice, we'll serve it with naan breads. You can put extra chilies on the top for those that like chilies. You could use chili flakes, you could put coriander on the top. So you really, one of those dishes that you can make it really mild, but you can still suit the chili heads in the house. So I'm just gonna put the ginger in, which, oh, the smells. So we've got onions and garlic in here so far, and the ginger is gonna go in. And that's just going to be really zesty and oomphy and really good for your metabolism. It's just going to make you feel better. Okay, so we're going to put parsnip in, we're going to put a carrot in, and we're going to put a sweet potato, probably just half a sweet potato, and I'm not going to peel them. Life's too short. So I'm giving it a little stir just to get the spices and everything mixed up. So you can see the colours are really vibrant. I think they look really lovely, and the smell is incredible. So all I'm going to do now, I'm going to add coconut milk. I've just rinsed out the can with water, left the water in the can because coconut milk is really, really gloopy and unctuous and it sticks to the can, and I don't want that to go down the sink. I want that to go into my dal. So I'm just going to stir that water in. So you go, oh, that's quite a lot of water, but actually the lentils are going to swell up and absorb that. So I'm going to put in some salt and pepper. It does take quite a lot because you want a lot of flavour in there. And then you just leave it to sit and stir it occasionally, but it'll take a couple of hours. Or you could do this in an oven pot, and you could pop it in the oven if you want to, but like I say, make sure you're cooking with something else in the oven as well, so you're not wasting all that energy. And you can even make it on the hob. That's absolutely fine, but you can't leave it if you're making it on the hob. You do need to stir it regularly. So I've just seasoned, not massively, let all that cook together, and then taste it when it's cooked and season again. That's what you need to do. Otherwise you can easily over salt things or over pepper, and you don't want to do that because you want it, you know, you're putting a lot of effort in. We've done a lot of chopping. You want to make it tasty. So this is a really good dish. A cheap dish, an economical dish, a hearty dish, a tasty dish. And also great for vegetarians and vegans, but I'm neither vegetarian nor vegan. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm hooked. I'm hooked. Lid on. And that's it. So with our dal, we're going to have some naan breads. So I've pre-bought these, but you can make them really, really easily. We've got a great recipe for flatbreads. Check it out. Doesn't take long at all. I've just run out of a bit of time today. So I've got these. You take them out of the packet and they're dry and a bit solid, and you go, oh, what have I done? That was a big mistake. So I'm just going to pop them in a dry frying pan on quite a high heat, and I'll turn them regularly, and they'll come back to life and they'll be absolutely delicious. You can always put them in some foil and put them in the oven if you've got the oven on too, but dry pan works amazingly. No oil in it, nothing, and then we'll have some delicious dal, and we can choose our toppings and all of that as well. So this is really a good meal to suit all the family because you can have it exactly as you like it. So this smells absolutely incredible, and I'm just going to put some in a bowl. So it's quite unctuous, it's quite gloopy, but you want that because we're going to eat this with a delicious naan bread. And like I said, you can heat this up, you can add heat to it. More importantly, you can have fresh chilli, you can have spicy chilli. So this is hearty brilliance. So a little bit of coriander on top makes it look a little bit chefy. And lime. Lime is really, really good. It's like lemon, but it's got a little bit of a salty kind of flavour as well. So that goes really, really well on top of your dal. And you can pop that on the plate and put some more on as you want it. So this is dal your way. This is quite mild. If you want it spicier, you add the spice. You add your crushed chilies, you add your sliced chilies, you add hot and curry powder. Give it a try. You won't be disappointed.